So I was just wrapping up a bout of editing for the night where I saw on Twitter that our beloved sorcerer bard, Gina Dazer, just had their baby. 8 pounds, 6 ounces. Harvey has arrived. So I think from all of us, even though I'm the only one here at the editing desk, we are wishing you all the best and we love you immensely. Anyway, here's an episode of continuing our Monster of the Week campaign where we engage in quite a bit of chicanery. Thank you.
Any chicanery because I've got the 4 kids opening to One Piece at my disposal. So
don't make it on that threat.
So Old Shoe Manor is on the outside of town, and it is this massive 3-story building that, had it not been well constructed back in the 1800s, it would have fallen apart, but it survived decades of actually over 100. When did World War I end? That was 1912?
I think.
We're over 100 years away from World War I. Congratulations.
Yay.
We did it.
Good job, world.
Good job, time.
We never had a whirlwind.
I'm just thinking about that one Doctor Who episode where, the big emotional stone they drop is what do you mean, the First World War? And just the man staring off 1,000 yards.
But, yeah, so it's this massive building, a lot of broken windows, a lot of, rotten boards, but it's got good bones, as they say. The Property Brothers would see this and say, it's got good bones. We're the Property Brothers. We don't kiss. That's only in your fan fiction.
Aww.
It's weird that they keep bringing it up every episode.
Very defensive about it, really. It's kind of odd, honestly.
Welcome to our Property Brothers role-playing game. I am Luke, he, him, sometimes they, them, as a treat. I am the GM as we are returning to NYPTS, the New York Pneumatic Tube Service arc. I realized that I didn't really give a full-on intro because
it's cold open.
Very in character. So if y'all want to quickly reintroduce yourselves, feel free.
Sure. Sam, I use they, them, as does Holly. Case subject 659B is it. Oh no, I don't have my single sentence summary like I did for my beloved robot. Oh golly. I'm a horrible angel man.
Oh golly.
Oh, God, oh no.
All right, I'll go next. I'm Eric, aka Rhythm Bastard, and I play Jonesy Spencerson, an old-timey type radio man who you definitely want to have on your side in a conversation. I don't have a gimmick yet either.
I'm playing Slam the Knife Morgan. My name's Sahoni. I go by he, him, so does Slam. Slam is a man of many angles and many gimmicks. He is also basically just a human pit bull, big and soft.
Like Mr. Worldwide?
Yeah, just absolutely that pit bull, Mr. Worldwide.
Going to bring Takobo to Alaska.
If I actually knew more pit bull songs, I might make a reference, but the truth is that entire era of music has been Men in Black memory wiped from my brain.
Which is wild because he did a theme for Men in Black.
He really did just come into your house and mind wipe you.
Oh, but is that real?
Yes, he did do a theme for Men in Black.
Yes, he did!
It's a bad one.
Yeah.
Look, I remember he did Aquaman.
Listen, sometimes the memory flash doesn't completely take. Sometimes bits slip through.
Mm-hmm.
Save us.
Hey, you gotta move, you gotta dance. And Madison, who are you playing?
I'm Madison Rowan. I am playing Ira Fontaine. We're both she, hers. And Ira is the expert of the group, who has mostly a lot of knowledge about the tubes and fixing the tubes, and not much else.
And as a bit more tube information, we'll probably get into it more as we explore, but long story short, old-timey millionaire wanted to make pneumatic tubes that could message anyone he wanted, and so he used magic, and now they are sort of if you send a message to someone, they have access to this tube network, and when you can message anyone, that anyone can also apply to anything. They're abominations to nature and break a lot of rules, so NYPTS is there to contain things. That's the long and short of it that I probably should have put in the first episode, but alas, bits.
I think Slam thinks that he's like in a Sci-Fi Channel original movie.
I mean, yeah, it's a bit Warehouse 13, sci-fi original TV series,
Well,
maybe.
like I think like he just assumes this is like the brief that they're giving him as an actor.
Mhm. It's like 90s Charmed, except that Slam the Knife Morgan is the only person with visible nipples in every scene.
Oh, Slam.
Yeah, well, there were also wrestlers on Charmed. Namely, there was one where hell was literally under the ring, and when the wrestlers got pinned, they fell into hell.
That I am excited. Abby and I are, or I guess I'm watching it for the first time. It's not a good show. There's so many poorly written episodes.
It's not, but it's so much fun as like garbage TV.
It is. Like, that's why we're watching it. It's like, when we have enough time for a Charmed, we'll do that, and when we don't, we watch AP Bio, and not enough people watched AP Bio. Go and watch AP Bio on Peacock now. Peacock! Squawk, squawk, motherfuckers.
Peacock. Someone should sponsor us.
I endorse this show as well, but you just like it because it's Ohio.
Toledo's not real Ohio, it's Southern Michigan.
Fake Ohio identified.
Peacock, see what Craig Robinson's doing now.
Rutherford Falls. It's there.
I thought Rutherford Falls was interesting and probably surprised a lot of people who don't regularly engage or like talk to any indigenous peoples.
Yeah. I still need to watch it. I haven't been able to. I've been blindly supporting it because it's the first time I've seen an indigenous sick.
You know,
What?
I've looked at whatever Max Greenfield's doing and like, hey, you go for it. Go for it, you beautiful Jew. You get this sitcom filmed from a live studio audience with Cedric the Entertainer money. What game are we playing?
Monster of the Week. And we're going to Old Shoe Manor.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, I will forget about that. I want to talk about Cedric the Entertainer.
Look,
Will he be there?
No.
Oh, damn. Well,
in the theater of the mind, yes, but not in any way that we're going to portray.
well, I'm going to let you know that the next NPC that we see, I'm imagining is Cedric the Entertainer.
There you go. All right.
Okay, you can just imagine, like, y'all are pulling up to this house in, like, middle New York, not quite upstate New York, and I'm looking forward to going there coming up soon, or I will have gone there in the past, but it's like there's lots of trees around it, but it's otherwise this kind of, like, open field with overly large grass, and even though the sun is just now starting to set, you can see this image of Cedric the Entertainer hovering over the sun, like that cowboy picture.
He always watches over us.
Beautiful.
Truly, we are blessed by the Entertainer. Do 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 do.
Okay, I was heading that way, but you got there.
All right, so yeah, in the van that y'all have, you hole up. Tell me what you want to do.
Well, I think like Slam is probably going to take this opportunity to stretch and flex, because especially when you have a guy that's as big as him, that is kind of always the first thing they do after a trip.
Mm-hmm.
of any
Even-
size.
Too cramped up in a little car, they gotta stretch out immediately, or else bad things will happen.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta get those ligaments warmed up.
I think Jonesy is going to take a quick look around to kind of case the place a little bit, you know, just to make sure, like, what, because in his mind, he's trying to sell this place. You know, it's like, well, we got the tube and we got the story.
So you're kind of like looking for the angle of this.
Yeah, like what's its structure? What's the layout? You know, what should we be looking for?
Okay, well that sounds like you're doing an investigative mystery. So roll me plus sharp.
All right, I am going to get a getting D12, so 2D6. And I rolled, so I have a 9.
All right, so that means that you get to pick one question off of the list that's up on page 1 of the document.
Okay, up on page 1. I'm going to go with what happened here.
So as you're going through, and here's a question that I'm not quite sure of. Is Jonesy just a mysteriously long-lived old-timey announcer person?
No, I think that's just his vibe.
Okay.
Horrid man.
Yeah, for in this canon, because Jonesy Spencerson is just like a character I've used in like other shit I've done, akin to a Forrest Kaysen. Someone got that. Akin to a Forrest Kaysen. Is that like that's just his vibe? Like originally, it's like an old he just sounds like a radio announcer from the 1960s because that's just his vibe, man.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. No, I
God, he must have been bullied so hard in school.
Well, when you do some old-timey fisticuffs and you drink your Ovaltine, then through that magic, everything is possible.
Yeah, I mean, I guess through that, you would get bullied even harder.
Yeah.
It's okay. You have your Ovaltine decoder ring to spell out.
Okay.
Secret
so I'm just picturing like two of the oldest people possible raising Jonesy. Like they are in their 80s. They've adopted this young child, and it's like, you need to eat the cornflakes so you won't become filled with the virility and turpitude.
Did young Jonesy just look like Billy Batson?
Yes.
with the dot eyes and everything.
Oh God, yes.
And so like everybody else is out in the 80s, and it's like boom boxes and bright colors, except for like the 80s alternative kids who are like into The Cure and Morrissey and stuff. And then there's Jonesy wearing brand new knickerbockers and suspenders.
Yeah, and and it's like that scene from The Simpsons where it's like the old guys carrying that like big old timey Victrola.
Yeah.
See, that's why he was able to keep up with Slammo Hooligan in the ring, because he built up all that muscle from carrying that old Victrola around with him.
So I'm going to say that like you kind of get the vibe because the house that you grew up in was kind of similar, and that those hooligans and ragamuffins can cause all sorts of damage. And so as you like go around, you see the various ways that like people have found ways in. Like the front door isn't fully attached. One of the windows, like the bottom pane is missing, not like it was punched out or anything, or if it was, they just made it fully clear so you could get in. So people have been coming into here for years, and there's even some signs of like animals that are probably in here as well.
Okay.
Ira, what you up to?
I feel like as Ira kind of gets out of the van and everything like that, she still has like her bag full of equipment kind of slung over her shoulders, because assumably this is where the tube is. And she's going to take out that tuning fork from episode 1 or episode 2, whatever it was, and try to use that to locate where the tube is around here.
Yeah, roll that plus weird check.
Plus weird.
For your weird science.
Oh, I love when my dice escapes my little box and falls on the floor.
Actually, this would be read a bad situation.
Read a bad situation. So that's actually going to be sharp then?
Giving you a bit of an advantage.
Well, then that's going to be a 12 total.
Hot dog.
My other die. I lost a die. It's somewhere under my desk. I'm very scared. No, well, I'll find it later.
Yeah, so on that, you can ask me any question you want, not just one of the listings.
So I can ask any question, not just the ones that are on a bad situation.
Yeah, and you have a total of 3.
Okay. I think the first one I am going to ask is, do I detect that the tube is in fact here? Is it inside the house?
Yeah, you programmed the sensor, and so it is doing that like Microsoft Tubes screensaver, and you can kind of see the ghostly form of where it is headed inside the house.
Okay, cool. So I can kind of, I know that the end of the tube that we're looking for is inside of this house.
Correct.
Very cool. I guess the second thing is, I am going to use one of the questions on the read a bad situation. And what are there any dangers that we haven't noticed?
That is a good question. While everyone else is kind of looking around, you do see that like on the mailbox and in a few other locations are some cheap security cameras. Like these are the $60 ones that don't give you the best picture or anything, and could easily maybe be like fake deterrent cameras, but these are set up in a few spots around here.
I think Slam is kind of trying to go into his usual routine because he assumes this is some sci-fi show or it's like a ghost hunting show that they have minor celebrities on, something like that.
Ira has one more question.
Oh, yes. Sorry about that.
No worries. Considering that we have cameras who are supposedly watching us at this point, what is our best way into the house without getting spotted too many times?
So most of the cameras that you see are set up towards the front of the house. And if you are presumably going to try and avoid these cameras, you've done an awful job. Like, you've pulled your car right into the driveway, which is in the front of the yard.
I see, so we're pretty much we've already been spotted if these are real cameras. Okay, in that case, the best way in is whatever way we want, because it's already, cover is blown. Alright, cool. So with that kind of knowledge, as everybody's kind of setting up, Ira's kind of got her little monitor thing and just goes, so there are security cameras outside this place, and we have already been spotted. Just about a hint of like, uh-oh.
Is that a bad thing? Are we not supposed to be filming here?
Well, they certainly don't look like these are any of our cameras, so...
I don't...
Presumably that means somebody unknown is watching us, which I don't think is the best thing in this case.
I mean, I don't show up on film quite right, but...
It is true. We did take some time to...
Well, maybe you should take the point then. So that way, we'll all look like some kind of weird, timey camera glitch.
Oh, I wouldn't say that it's something that really obscure our presence. I just don't look like this on film. It's,
I'm sure you look fine.
I think I look resplendent, but that's beside the point.
Either way, what we are looking for is inside this house, so we're going in anyway.
Yeah.
I'm happy to play a distraction, though. That's not a bad idea if all the cameras are looking one way and not yours.
Well, I'm game for anything. Just point me where you need me.
All right. I think Jonesy will take point then, because if there is anybody here, he probably looks like the most presentable and professional. So he can be like, or maybe like him and Ira take the front, so that way they can be like, oh, we're here on completely legitimate business.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
You don't want to blow up the spot that makes more sense.
Yeah, we don't want to freak out people too much.
I mean, if you want to kind of deal with the house, the cameras around the house, there's one over there on the roof, over there on the mailbox. I don't know if you want to do anything about them, but that's where they are.
Huh.
I could maybe, and I float a little bit. I could take them out,
That'll work.
Not a lot of places I can't reach.
I'll help.
That might be good.
All right, I'm going to say that would be a act under pressure, and Slam, you were going to do a help out. So could you roll plus cool, and then Holly, I am going to need you to also roll plus cool for your act under pressure here.
Cool.
I got an 8 total.
I got a 10 total.
All right. So that is going to be a total of 11. So I feel like, Slam, you get in front of some of the cameras that are out here as Holly is going, and would Holly be just simply disconnecting them or trying to fully break these things?
Oh, definitely fry them with some weird angelic pneumatic tube energy,
Yeah. So you are going and you are frying these things, and like the last shots that a lot of these are getting is our big luchador friend Slam appearing on the camera before they fizzle out. Like hunting through all of these and like getting them in takes a few minutes, and like as you're still going through this, you hear police sirens as a car is zooming down this like dusty road, and it pulls into the parking lot.
Was it? I'm sorry. Did you say the sirens were running?
Yes.
Okay. Ugh. Okay. How do people feel about the fuss?
Can't say I'm a fan, but I've had my share of dealing with them.
Yeah, Jonesy sees the police as more of a tool in his arsenal rather than like authority figures. So I think he might be one of the good ones to talk to because I think this might be just Jonesy's and Slam because they'd probably be the best to talk to the cops.
Evening, officer. How can I help you?
I need all of you to step towards my car and put down any tools or weapons that you are carrying with you.
Can I ask what the problem is?
You are disrupting private property right now. I saw your van pull up and the camera start going down.
Is it marked as private property? Like, is there a sign saying private property?
Not that you saw.
Excuse me. Why do you, the police, have camera presence? You said you saw the cameras go out, but that would be...
We set up the cameras to prevent teens, delinquents, and other characters of questionable morality from going into the house.
Characters. Awful wide net.
I mean, there's a lot of types of bad people out here.
Oh, hey, can I try to make an inspiring speech?
An inspiring speech to...
The police.
What are you trying to inspire them to? You're supposed to... Like, an inspiring speech is to rally your group together, not necessarily to convince them.
Uh-huh. Yes, I have a plan.
You want to rally the cops.
Yes, I want to rally the cops under my presence and celebrity.
You want them in your thrall.
Well, not under my thrall, just kind of, really kind of play up the crowd. You know what I have to say? I really respect people like you taking a time to actually care about their community. I think more people cared about their community the way that you do, this world would be a better place, I think we should all come together and work together. Be as one for this community. I would like to help you. Would you like to help me?
Roll charm with a disadvantage here.
Okay.
If I assist in his and just like come in with another, quota of my own, will that help?
No, I would impose double disadvantage.
Okay.
Okay, well, the lowest I got was a 9.
Christ. Yeah, we are already doing our job here to survey. It is the 4 of you who should not be here and have disrupted.
I'm here on a job too.
Do you have your paperwork?
Do we have paperwork?
I mean, yeah, I would assume you have badges and whatnot.
Yeah,
Yes.
you have badges and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all just like flash our badge at the same time, kind of synchronized.
I feel like Jonesy, as the charmer, he would have the badge, and then, like in the Simpsons episode with the X-Files, just that little pin up with David Duchovny.
And it's a pinup of David Duchovny.
Yeah, it's just that picture of David Duchovny.
That picture of David Duchovny.
Yeah, that does not help at all. I'm going to need all of you to come down to the station with me.
Luke, I'd love to tap into my mystical, angelic powers and put these cops to sleep.
Where do you have make them sleepy powers?
Yeah, I know. Okay, so I would like to do something with the cops using magic powers. Problem is that, pretty classically, it's a very vague move, use magic.
Uh-huh.
But you see, there are things like beyond human limitations, or...
Okay, yeah. Roll me your plus weird check.
Yeah, 7 plus 3 for 10. It doesn't have to be put them to sleep, but like I would like to use the magic of the pneumatic tubes to mess with these cops.
I mean, it's more of your angelic
Yeah.
organization magic.
Yeah, sure. Sorry.
So you start casting, and like you do that sort of Doctor Strange in the Marvel movies magic, except yours are all like spreadsheets. So you're just like drawing rows and columns out. Yeah. And you summon a piece of legislature that basically you bring it up to them. And what do you say?
You'll find that everything is in perfect order here. I would recommend, if I might, that you take this slip of paper to your immediate superior, and then this slip up to their superior. You're going to want to deliver simultaneous.
The officers rolled down their window at this point. Listen, if you want me to present this, I still need you to come with me, so I've got some sort of backup. So you can come with me, and I guess the rest of your group can stay here as long as they don't go inside the building. Because going inside that building is breaking into public property, and you have already destroyed some cameras that are going to take money to rebuild and replace.
We'll reimburse you later, probably.
Can you break into public property?
It's a complicated issue with city ordinance and the actual owners of the property.
Which is the public, right?
No, it's a privately owned building owned by the Shoe family.
I think you see Slam just very much puzzling this out. Like it's that gif of that lady with like the math being projected over her.
Jebediah Shoe built this mansion, and then after his son died in World War I, he had no actual family, and so it went off to some distant relatives who basically own the property, pay rights on it, but don't do anything with it. But we're expected to keep it in good shape as a historical building, but we don't actually have permission to do any refurbishments. It's a whole thing.
Well, I could go down and do paperwork if the rest of you guys still need to do work here.
What work are you trying to do here? I mean,
Well, we're taking part in some tube repair.
is that a sex thing?
No,
Plumbing.
it's like, pipes and plumbing. We have a bit of an issue coming from headquarters, like desperately trying to like talk her way out while still like pickpocketing out of her like monitor thing.
Is it a drug thing?
Holly is kind of crammed in the backseat and just producing sheet upon manual upon certificate in a very unhelpful manner. But no, if you just look at these documents here, it would explain perfectly what our jurisdiction is and compared to yours when it comes into state. Now, actually, which meridian are we on? Okay, so that's good. And then from nowhere, all of these papers.
Just books and manuals and like multiple sheets like laminated together with multiple forms.
I understand. Why did you destroy the cameras, though?
One of my friends is camera shy.
Yes, that's true. And I guess I'm going to try to lay on the charm here. See, that's true. I mean, the thing is that due to our nature of work, when you're under constant surveillance, just even mention of it while you're on the job could lead to various panic attacks. And considering the very delicate work that we tend to do here, we really couldn't be, we really had to, temporarily take down the cameras.
Slam has his arms crossed and is nodding solemnly behind him, just kind of like as an acknowledgement.
Wait. Aren't you Jonesy Smithison?
Jonesy Spencerson, yes, that is me.
I've seen you on camera many times before.
Well, yes, that is me because I am a radio personality. I've developed an accustomment to it. However, my comrades here, well, they're not exactly as camera friendly as I am. You see, and he just kind of motions to Ira since she seems like she's the meekest.
I do hate being on camera.
And honestly, she's the most talented out of all of us. She knows she's been working here for half as long as I have and knows twice as much.
And I'm certain our department will reimburse you for these cameras, maybe even get better ones with finer quality or something.
Fiber optics.
Listen, it's about 7 o'clock now. I've got to either arrest someone or bring you all in or just make sure none of you go into the building tonight. I mean, if you're going to break into the place, teens have figured out how to do it. You go in at night when the cameras, which are very cheap cameras, aren't working, or you go in the back, or you crawl forward. I mean, are y'all ghost hunters or something?
No, but we're not teens either.
Yeah.
Just gives a big old thumbs up like, yep, that was the answer.
Listen, Holly, maybe you should help explain some of this paperwork to the nice officer here while we pack up our equipment.
He seems confused.
All right, take me in, boys. Take me.
All right. And then the rest of you are going to not break into the house, correct?
Absolutely. We'll just double check an iron inventory, then head right back into town.
Yep.
The cop sighs and opens the door for Holly to get in onto the passenger side of the front. And the two take off towards the police station. So the other three of y'all, what are you doing now?
Breaking inside.
We're totally breaking into the back.
We should probably move the car, but then yes, we should absolutely break in.
Yeah.
So how are you breaking in?
So I think, like for the time being, just in case the cop comes back, Jonesy is going to drive like a block or so down and hide it in an alleyway, then just walk back. Because I think
there's no alleyways. This is like backcountry road.
Well, or like just like behind a shed, just like somewhere out of the way.
Go a property over.
I'm going to look in the back if there's a back door.
All right, Jonesy, I'm going to need you to roll me a act under pressure.
All right. I rolled a 7 + 1, 8 total.
Okay. You can successfully hide the car now, but you'll pay a price later, or you can't find a place to hide the car.
Ooh, I'm going to anticipate we're going to have some rough trouble up ahead. So, I'm going to say Jonesy can't find a place.
So you just like go on the road and like you've gone 2 miles and you haven't seen anything. So you just like circle back.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, we left. Yeah. So there's...
And meanwhile, I assume that that Slam and Ira go into the house.
Mm-hmm. I guess we find a back way through. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is a kind of like a sunroom where a lot of the windows are missing, and you just like go in, and it smells awful, like shit, like animal shit and rot and stuff.
Oh, horrendous!
Mm-hmm. So I need a investigating, and so your next goal is going to be you. Actually, no, I'll say you're able to use the tool, and you find your way into the study where the tube is, and it takes you a while to get there. We then cut to Holly waiting in the police car. So
Holly is just staring straight ahead. Officer Kowalski, I do feel I should tell you I have no respect for what it is that you do, and you'll see by the paperwork I have to serve, I am under no responsibility to speak to.
So if you're not going to comply, I should just go back and check on your friends.
I'm complying perfectly. Again, if you will look at these documents that I am prepared to serve to your superior.
Because that's a lot of paperwork.
It certainly is.
Yeah. And I mean, if you don't have respect for my position within the community, why would I have respect for your paperwork?
Oh, you don't have to respect the paperwork. I don't have to respect me.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, I don't have to respect you, and you don't have to respect someone who has visited the wrath of God upon populaces untold.
You just see gears like turning in his eyes for a moment. It was like,
do you think that the flood was the first and only time?
No. Wait, what? The flood like 5 years ago?
You have such a short view. I can see what that used to be like somewhere in this body, but it's still pretty tough to conceive how you see things. Now take me to the station with all of this paperwork.
No, I just gotta stop back and see if your friends actually left. And the car turns.
I'm going to stop this car.
Using magic?
Yeah, okay. I am going to use, let me double check exactly what my sheet says here, because I kind of like to freak out now. Yeah, I'm going to use my shapeshifting. This isn't going to actually help anything, but just to be clear, where once there was a lanky man, there is now a silhouette of fire and wings and eyes, and it's trying to shove their magical weapon into the engine of this car.
Because you want to destroy this engine.
Yes, I want to stop this car.
Okay, roll kick some ass.
How many people want to kick some ass?
1.
Not tough yet.
You're really just a sensitive artist.
Yes, 9.
Of death.
It's not nothing.
You kind of like phase through, because angels are somewhat creatures of thought and spirit. And so you phase through this engine and you see it kind of get pulled out of the car. The problem is because the car still has momentum, it gets dragged through the car. So the engine is now, with your sword still stuck in it, in the trunk of this car that has turned around and is continuing to move forward. The officer, Kowalski, is freaking out in the car, slamming on the brakes that aren't doing anything because the car's guts have been dragged into the trunk of this vehicle.
Yeah, I'd like to rescue Officer Kowalski from tackle him out of this car.
Roll an act under pressure.
Cool.
Or actually, I think that would be protect someone.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just noting, again, using my powers of flight in this instance, but that it's more for flavor than anything else. Okay, 8 plus 0.
So you work to phase them out of the car, throwing them into the side. But because of the weird momentum of the car, your sword partially gets dragged through you while the momentum is going.
Oof.
And so you are kind of flickering between angel and human state right now. Officer Kowalski is screaming into the microphone, haunted house, everybody get to the fucking haunted house.
Oh.
And I think we get this three-way, the camera pans out at you on the side of the road, kind of flickering between your forms, and then a second panel on the screen cuts in, and it's Ira and Slam Ira and Slam seeing where the pneumatic tube is, and then the third is Jonesy pulling back into the driveway of the house. And rapidly, we just see police lights approaching. They drive past the police car that has been destroyed, totaled essentially, even though the frame is still good. And in the distance of Jonesy's frame, we see those lights approaching, and that is where we're going to end this episode.
Oh boy.
'Cause I'm running, police on my back.
Hi, I'm Luke, your game master, he, him, sometimes they, them. You can find me on Twitter at Coltreg, that's Koltreg. I also have a new One Piece and Simpsons mashup podcast called Domance Dawn, DOHMANCEDWAN. You can find us on Twitter at Domance, and it's a weird podcast where we talk about One Piece and The Simpsons. Check it out. Also find all my other stuff at LukeHer, LukeHer.com.
I'm Eric, aka Rhythm Bastard, and I've been playing Jonesy Spencer. You can find me on my website, rhythmbastard.rocks, because I rock so hard, I had to put it in the URL. By the time you're listening to this, my new album, Hardcore Nerdcore Punk Rock, will have been released, and you can get it by either going to my website, rhythmbastard.bandcamp.com, or supporting the music I do every month at patreon.com/rhythmbastard.
I'm Sam. I played Holly, and you can find me on Twitter at Frunding_Loom. You can learn how to spell it easy. I believe in you.
I've been Madison Rowan, playing Ira Fontaine. You can find me on Twitter at Rikuru, or at Quipster Rikuru. Rikuru spelled Rikuru. And everything I do should be linked through my Twitter account. Nothing in particular happening all too recently, but should anything happen, I'll tweet about it.
Hi, I've been Sahoni. You can find me on Twitter at Sahoni_stuff. That's SAHONI_stuff, where I do not only this whole podcasting gig, which I'm on another podcast called Barking Points Memo, which is a regular current events comedy podcast, but you can also see all the tabletop games that I actually make and design. I have links to my shop, which is bramblewolfgames.itch.io, where you can find Exceptionals, which has been featured on IO9, Gizmodo, Kotaku, Listen to These Nerds, Yes Indeed podcast, and The Voice of Dog. It's good shit, but you can go ahead and play that there. also check out my other links in a handy little link tree on my Twitter, which has things like my personal Patreon, my Ko-fi, and my Twitch channel that I do game design and things on. I have more games soon. Keep an eye out.
RPG Pals Club is a podcast that posts twice a month on the 1st and the 15th. You can find us online at rpgpals.club for our website or at rpgpalsclub.com. Our theme song is written by Eric, and most of our cover art, especially for this arc, was done by Madison. Also, our good friend Gene is taking a break from the show, but we wish them the best and send out massive love to them and good vibes. Happy Pride Month, and even if it's not Pride Month anymore and you're hearing this, trans rights are human rights, support queer rights, and...
Fuck TERFs, but don't have sex with them.
Exactly. We will see you on the next episode, either on the 1st or the 15th. Catch you on the flip mode!